Greetings, humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Dune: Adventures in the Imperium, a game by Modiphius Entertainment that adapts the universe of Frank Herbert's Dune series. I have just poured myself some tea, and in the hope of getting my gray cells back working again, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go on autopilot, and so let's go around and say hi to everyone and find out once again for this evening who our players are and who they're playing, and we'll be starting with Lynn. Hello.
Hey, good to be back. Yeah, got to hear all the cool stuff that happened last night. A lot of things happened. I'm excited to see where they go. But yeah, I'm Lynn, Shive, and tonight I am playing Talis Shadow, also Shive, the assistant to the consort.
Awesome. And now over to Jen. Hello.
I'm Jen, and I'm playing Hunter, the smuggler.
Excellent. And now over to Nicky. Hello.
Hello there, I'm Nick Hive, and I am playing Silas Chin, the bodyguard to the heir of House Versai.
Excellent. And I believe the heir will be joining us presently. Janie had some real life stuff to take care of, but I believe she should be appearing sometime very soon. So we'll just make a quick adjustment when that happens. We should be good. I tonight am of course playing Nero Ionis Versai, Spacing Guild liaison, and I made a decision recently about an asset I want him to have, and we'll talk about that probably at some point soon, depending on how we want to tackle things. But before we toss things over to our GM, just as a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. And finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain references to violence, betrayal, drug use, imperial oppression, body horror, colonialism, worms, hallucinations, thirst, and starvation. If you want to see that at any time and you're in chat, you can type !Dune CW, and that will show up. That content warning, that's also on rotation, so that should show up periodically. And finally, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if you need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. And so now, without further ado, we shall hand things over to our GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brian. My pronouns are he, him, and I am, really excited to get back to this. As was pointed out, bunch of stuff happened last session, so we're gonna see what. Actually, the next thing we're gonna do, I think, is maybe we should make sure we know what the two characters that were not here last session are up to. Let's see. Let's start with Silas on this one. What is Silas doing right now? Actually, what Silas is doing are like 10 things, as I recall. But
Yeah, I think like the main one was waiting for information from the pirate guy. Oh god, what's his name?
Resius.
Yeah. Like any update from him? Like how much time has passed since last week's session that I was not there for?
Let's see. A couple of days, because people actually no, a little more than that, because people were involved in some things that took a little while. So yeah, I think maybe like just over 2 days. So you've had time for him to get back to you. Now the main question you were waiting for was he was trying to find out specifically who stole that thing. Was that right?
Yeah, and who owns the array now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he does get back to you on that one. He figures out. Yeah, he gets you a message. He says he figures out when and from where it was stolen, and from there they kind of had to reverse engineer exactly what happened. But they did figure out. Yeah, they actually traced it back to this apartment that Talus is familiar with. They don't think it's there anymore, but they know that that was the last known location of it.
Any names?
They managed to figure out some communications, but they were using code names, so they don't know yet. However, Tellus, you told Silas about yeah, you did. You told Silas about the apartment with the dossiers, etc., didn't you? Okay, so you already know about this apartment. So you actually have figured out that it is the people that stole it are the same people that have been collecting the dossiers that you're trying to do the sting operation on at that restaurant. It is definitely connected to them.
Okay.
Like
but we still don't know any identity for them yet.
Not yet. Largely because I think we were trying to get and if you want to figure out how the sting operation worked out, we can also get back and play that as well. Or we could effectively do that now if you want to do that when because you and Talus and Nero were involved in that one, so
yeah,
we can get together to do that.
And also, how did that Operation Catfish went with the painting or the art piece for that person?
With the was that with the smuggler or?
Yeah. I think at some point we were arranging like to try to fold someone, like turn someone to our side or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Hang on. Yeah, let me check on that one.
It was just something that happened in the background.
Yeah, that's right. Hang on. Yeah. Sorry about that one. That was that's on me. I left that one out. Let me get that called up real quick.
Yeah, there was a smuggler that we were trying to flip, and Silas was mostly working out. But I also offered them if they want to also add guild credits at some point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's just gonna work with the resources that all of you are pointing at. That's gonna work. So the question is, what do you want to do with that? And you don't have to answer it right now, but I will tell you that you can get some information or get them to do something for you.
All right. I think I'll leave that to a group decision to see what we do.
Fair enough.
I kind of want to involve this person in our sting operation in some way.
No, all right.
And then,
go ahead.
The info that you sent me over Discord, is this also happening concurrently with everything else?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, because you had your agents working on those things, so they're getting back to you with all that.
Okay. So at some point we gotta bring in this Ruby that has been replaced. Am I the only one working on this, or do the others also know about this?
That is okay. You know that Rose and Alexis suspect that Ruby is an imposter. And if Alexis knows, it's a safe bet that Nero knows.
Okay.
I don't think word has gotten back to Talus, largely because Talus was focused really, really heavily on breaking that code. So, which turned out to be difficult, but as it happens, Talus broke the code. However, but again, this is the sort of thing that like any of you could have told any of the other ones for for obvious reasons. But
Okay. So yeah, I'll also leave this like don't know whether to. And for now, I'll just tell this person to see like whether if they since they've been replaced, chances are they're gonna be sharing communications with whoever hired her or whatever group she's part of. So want to find out who they are and if they're connected to
right.
the people that collected our dossier.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right. In that case, I'll swing back to you, but I need to check in with Talus. So yeah, what's our Mentat up to?
There we go.
Yeah.
Apparently with that time focused on that passed on that code, I think Talus has figured out something that there has been more than one contact that this person that was in that gathered the dossiers was in contact with, and I think that over possibly the most secure way possible, I think either with meeting in her quarters or figure out some other way if that's possible between Nero and Silas, because they're going to be involved on this. They're going to be part of this operation that I did figure out that there were two contacts that our friend of the apartment was keeping track of. One is seems to be their regular contact that they get, the one that delivers information to them. Seems like also who they get their orders from, but there's been another contact more recently, last person that actually delivered the message, and that message was that person one, the regular contact, has been compromised in some way, and that orders from them should be taken with caution, and interactions with them should also be taken with extreme caution, and with their regarding their feelings about things, how the operation is, to get rid of them if necessary. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So that's why I told you this, is that we could have two, possibly someone else that has been either compromised by some other third party, and getting this person. Also, the possibility that our contact is the person we've been watching is already heightened, vigilant, aware of us. So tell your operators that bit of status change and be ready for anything that happens.
Understood.
This was a thing that I said briefly toward the end of last session, and therefore I don't know. I'm suspecting this information has not got. So Nero had sent a message to Talus, possibly via dead drop, not sure. But it would have been a coded message. And I just want to know if you would have had time to look at that or not.
Yes, probably.
The message is very simple. It translates to Latan has clones.
Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, do they?
If we're actually meeting, then I can probably elaborate, but that
Yes.
depends on.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I guess like that would also hasten in-person meeting. It's like, what manner in the usual way of or are we talking about infiltration?
Before I answer that, also, I just need to so that because my brain didn't entirely latch onto it. Who is the person we're supposed to be watching? That you just told us we're supposed to be watching? Okay.
Oh, are you talking about like the person that the sting operation was after in the first place, or
we're supposed to be watching our interaction with? Oh, we're just trying to figure out who.
Yeah. This was a communication to I'm just going to call him apartment guy.
Apartment guy.
Apartment person.
Apartment guy was told that the person he had been getting direct orders from had been compromised.
Okay. So
since go ahead.
Well, Latan received a shipment, a very large shipment that I was trying to track down. I was able to trace it back and figure out what it was. It's from House Tlilac. It's cloning tanks.
Well, good job. That seems to be deeply concerning that has reached here.
There is
not through the usual channels.
Yeah, there is also a possibility that they've got some of their space dancers out.
Or face dancers.
What are they called?
Face dancers.
Face dancers. Okay.
Yeah.
I wrote it down wrong. They've got their face dancers out.
Yeah.
Also deeply concerning. There's no good reason why they should be.
Well, the reason why is because it seems I heard from Alexis that there was a member of Rose's staff was not behaving normally. Ruby, if you know her, and yeah, she's So it is entirely possible that that Tlilac may be that involved in what's going on.
Any idea if it's themselves or they're on the job?
What are they? What is you asking if they're just going out and replacing people casually, or is this?
If this has something with their own house motives, or are they working for a third party that has possibly hired them or has offered them something?
Well, here's the thing: since they have sold, my immediate suspicion is that they're working with Latan just simply because they have clearly sold them cloning tanks. Since they're not making the clones for them, they're actually providing them with the tanks. I also assume they're providing them with some kind of technical support for them.
Which keeps their hands clean if they just have the cloning things.
Well,
those aren't illegal, but infiltration, that's something else.
Potentially. I mean, it's if we were worried about if anyone was resting on their laurels thinking, well, they don't have much in the way of manpower and resources, well, they will now. There's also I'm looking into. I'm still waiting to hear back from my people about Gavril. He's one of the he's a level 2 dispatcher with the guild.
Yes.
That apparently that one of the ones that one of the mentats had contact with. I'm still waiting to hear back from some of my contacts who are keep an ear to the ground with things going back and forth with the guild, to let me know what they have on him, but they are looking into him. So it does tell me that there's a potential flag there. I don't know if he's also a face dancer, but one never knows. Depends on what, they just thought. All I know right now is they were flagging him for strange behavior. Just depends on which kind of strange.
Yes, one generally doesn't know until you definitely know. So, at least you got lucky on CERN with that.
Lore question. Are cloning common in Dune?
Yes, cloning is basically a perfected technology by now, and it's as Talis pointed out, it's not illegal. Just making clones for general labor and things along those lines. It's similar in a lot of ways to say the replicants in Blade Runner, that kind of deal. But what is definitely okay, there's another thing that's not illegal, but it is looked at with great suspicion, though, is the practice of making what's called a gola. And that is when you take material from a person that has died, or preferably when they were alive. But either way, you take material from a person, and after they've died, you recreate them. That is the thing that House Thylax is known to be able to do. But basically, everyone agrees that that's just creepy.
What they do is
yeah, nothing that they do isn't creepy.
No.
It's house creepy, but they but yeah, on the cloning side of things, now here's the thing though. The same tanks are used to make clones that are used to make golas. So just like you have this tank and you're like, oh no, we're just making clones.
Yeah, we're not doing anything with this.
Right.
Okay. This brings me to my second question. Does that mean that Rose, the replaced person, is it a clone?
Could be.
Unknown at this point. Yeah.
I mean, there
Like,
could have
because
been, like a switch out. Yeah, that's what.
We
Yeah, because
suspect
if
so.
it's a switch out, they would look different, right? It will be a different person. But if the switch out is the exact same, has the same face.
Although House Twilax does have what's called face dancers. Those are not clones. Those are people with the ability to change their appearance and pretend to be other people.
Oh, right.
So it is entirely possible that this is a face dancer, which is much more dangerous than a clone.
Yeah, we're suspecting face dancing. I've warned Alexis that that's the case.
Yeah.
Alexis
Terrible
is
assassins.
now
Not
trying
good.
to
Bad.
now trying to befriend the false Ruby, but knows at least what it is that she's up against.
Oh, is it like surgery or is it like tech that they change their face with?
Yeah, it's tech. They it's a combination of technology and biogenetic manipulation.
Ooh.
Which I guess is just another tech, but it's
What's the timetable for Rose's event to be done and for them to come back?
For which event?
I guess when they come back to the when they're supposed to come back to the planet.
Wait, what do you mean on?
I mean they're still on. Okay.
Yeah. Rose never left the world, so she's still here. She traveled. She sent messages to people off world, but she otherwise stayed here.
Well, I guess if any of you have any suspicions about a particular person that you've been keeping an eye on, just be aware that it's not out of possibility that they are the second contact that we were talking about, or the first one.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Either one.
Any more undue attention could, in fact, maybe spook them into receding back into the anonymity again.
While we're on this, what are we doing about the replaced servant?
Yeah.
Attendant, yeah. The replaced attendant. Sit back and watch, or do we bring her in for interrogation?
Barring it. We should keep the amount of attention we've been putting on them, in case Rose or any of our people are the target. But it would be incredibly valuable to keep them under observation as long as possible. Anything we can get from them without them knowing.
There's something I might try, but will just depend on what level of contact we want to make.
Hmm.
If we want a softer sell, in other words, that doesn't necessarily implicate everyone, I've had a thought, but we'll see. We'll see where things go.
Oh, well,
I know that
share. Well, do share a few just for the possibility of it happening. And
You know.
Well, with the some of this actually gets into part of the reason before I go into it. I know some of this was gets into stuff that I think we were probably going to discuss at the dinner. So I don't know if we want to. I don't know if we want to hold off until the dinner until we're actually doing the dinner, or that Rose is hosting, or what.
well, if it involves the air, they should wait until.
Yeah.
If you think it'd be better to keep that information to yourself and limit the amount of ears that are.
I mean, that's with. I mean, we'll all be there, but I just figure
Yes.
wait until we're all together so we can.
Well, one meeting is better than having two meetings with the possibility of it leaking first beforehand.
Yeah,
so. If it's not incredibly time sensitive, we can bring that up later. We have things to deal with right now. Speaking of things, I believe that you two, that your people are more than capable of dealing with this contact that we were watching. So, I had a question about the facility that you visited. Is it possible to access that, or is that way been barred?
Which one of us?
Nero.
Oh, the that research station.
Yes.
I know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can probably. I don't know how often they have people come there, but it looked like there hadn't been folks there for a while. So it's. I mean, we can just get someone out there, and I know what we have to take another look at, as we're going and making sure they haven't redone any of their surveillance or anything, but we should be fine, I would think.
Yes, well, I didn't mean quite someone. I was intending on going there myself.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Well,
probably more scrutiny on this, on the information.
Yes. Well, yes, I can. You have the data I gave you on the the security and the lock and the hatch and everything to get in. So being on the lookout for that also.
It is not necessary that I be hands-on with this. It's not necessarily my forte. This information gathering that you two have sent your people on. So might as well multitask while we're at it. Maybe divided eyes on us and our own will make things work faster.
Certainly.
Okay. We have Janie back. Hello, Janie! Yay! Which means that in a few minutes we can do the family dinner that that Rose was wanting to have. But I have two questions first. First one is for Hunter. Hunter will be at the meeting, but is there anything you want to have done before that?
Yeah. If I get a string of random letters and numbers, now keeping in mind that I'm like a solid C minus student, maybe I can try to figure out what it says.
Actually, you totally can.
Okay.
So I will give you, well, first off, what you've got is you've also been looking through the stuff that you and Paolo took from the weird locked building.
The star chart, the DNA, like ancestry stuff.
Yeah, and a set of records that didn't make any sense to you. they weren't written in code or anything, but you could tell that like information was missing. And eventually you figure out how to, for all intents and purposes, insert this string of characters into the information that wasn't making any sense. And now you've got coordinates on this planet. It is like 12 different latitude, longitude points. And comparing them to the map, you notice that they are, each of those spots has one of those weather machines on it. And the weather machines, you've seen, the planet has more than 12. But this is only locking in 12 of those locations. And consulting a current map of the planet shows that weather machines are still in those locations. And just as a reminder, the weather machines are things that can. Mostly what they're used for is to lessen the impact of storms, because there is almost nothing on this planet to break a storm up. So once a storm gets big, it just keeps going and it keeps getting bigger, and the Coriolis force of the planet makes it even worse. So at some point, someone created what they call weather machines, which are essentially they don't stop storms, but they make them significantly less bad. So that is one of the things. Eventually, you, like I said, you were just looking through the stuff, and you were like, maybe it fits here. That was like maybe the sixth thing you tried or whatever, but you got it. And on top of that, you realize that some of those weather machines are no longer active. In fact, only 3 of them are still currently active. But with the information you've got here, you think you might be able to turn them back on.
That was just me saying the other ones. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yours is muted.
I also like that your grandmother didn't bother to explain it. She was like, here.
No. Really, as I mentioned when I was in the compound, has way too much faith in me. Just clearly there were things that I missed in my education.
I would like to just like cut to just a brief cut scene of her getting your message and going, what the fuck? But okay, gotcha. So anything else before meeting? Because I mean that took a little while to piece together, and also you got that other stuff from Paolo during that time. So
Got it.
okay. Well, in that case, if everyone's okay, if we could take just a few minutes break, and then we'll come back. And I'm sorry. Actually, Rose, I have one final question. Who are you inviting to this dinner? Is it just the player characters, or are any NPCs invited?
Just the player characters and.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be the player characters for this.
That was what I was assuming, but I didn't want to make that assumption, and then suddenly, you're like, why aren't you there? Okay, perfect. In that case, now, if everyone's okay, we can take a break for just a few minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll get on that new dinner scene.
Righto.
All right.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back shortly. See you soon.
Thank you.
We're back. Ha! 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 Ha!
Surprise!
Ha! Ha! Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're going to take another break.
He's going to be laughing randomly all night for no apparent reason. I'm sorry.
That's
Go
great.
ahead.
Okay, now, as I recall, the last thing Rose was planning to do was get the gang back together. So invitations have been sent out for a time and place.
I am already there.
Here you are. Oh, yeah.
That they had dinner at before, probably.
Yeah, that same room. Yeah, okay.
I think the order is probably who gets there first. Either Silas probably definitely gets there first, but I think is far up.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't believe anyone's getting there before Silas. But yeah.
You send the message and you hear it beep from the corner as he steps forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Hey.
I am neither conspicuously on time nor conspicuously late.
You arrive precisely when you mean to.
Exactly.
A smuggler is never late.
And I'm just going to say that Rose probably did set it up. She probably didn't do a bad job. She pretends like she doesn't know how to do it, but she's been to so many dinners. She's gone to so many. She's been in plannings for so many. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, when it comes to this, right. And also, for these specific people, you don't even have to pretend you're bad at it.
Right.
So,
Yes, I'm not going to be. I'm just going to.
yeah, I like that. So it is just the six of you. Again, in that room, same room that actually Hunter was not at that one, but everyone else was. But Hunter, you are familiar with the room. It's one of the. It is not the largest dining room. It's one of the secondary dining rooms for the house. Not the one that you would have like the fanciest dinner in. But still, by anyone else's standards, it's incredibly fancy. So let's see. So speaking of which, is this in fact a dinner? Are you having food served, or is it just a meeting? Okay, so the food is already laid out. And as per usual, it is all of it is particularly high quality. Some of it would be from the home world. Some of it would be from a lot of it would be local stuff. So unsurprisingly, a whole lot of seafood and kelp-based stuff.
I'm keeping an eye on the people who bring in the food to see if any might be, Rose, the imposter.
Yeah. Fortunately, none of. I'm just gonna guess that Ruby was not invited. So. So.
Conversation got lost.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh well, that's too bad. Yeah. To the best of your knowledge and observation, and you are good at observation. None of these people appear to be doing anything particularly suspicious. I mean, you are a house of spies. Everyone's doing something suspicious, but nothing incorrectly suspicious.
But I will say, to be nice, Rose made everybody like little rose pins.
Nice.
They don't have any. There's no thorns on them though. They're not dangerous. They're not going to hurt you at all. Like if she makes stuff for people she's not sure she likes, that's probably dangerous. But you're not going to poke yourself on it.
Yeah, you save the pointy ones for your enemies.
Yeah, fake Ruby might get one that's a little
She
rusty.
might. Yeah, that's not good.
It has this needle inside it that, at any given moment when remotely activated, will plunge in and deliver the poison.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's how it works. All right. Well, to that end, everyone is here, and eventually the servants leave after serving the food, and uh, just like the last one, the servants clear the area. They are not lurking around like they would be for anything where they were required to be like coming back and forth. So it's now just a bunch of food and various beverages.
Wait, I have to do this. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my. So I trust you all had a good dinner.
Nice, very excellent. Thank you very much. He wanted to immediately. He actually immediately put on he was charmed by the rose pin and immediately put it on.
Yeah, I made one for each of you.
These are delightful. These are just delightful.
Oh.
Alice just has like kind of the usual neutral look that's kind of like pleasantries are over, it's business time. What's up? What's up?
Yeah. I feel like Silas is used to this, so he's already wearing the pin. Maybe I'll say that maybe there are like other pins Rose has made over the years that is just on his clothes. Like he's
They're like
yeah, basically.
They're like military medals. It's all of these things that she's made.
Yep, like just like a Boy Scout badge is just all over.
So now you need a sash, but I don't think she does sewing, so she would have to have a sash made.
Perfect.
Okay, so it appears that we have some catching up to do, and I figured we needed a secure location, and everybody gets hungry, so I made sure we had food. Does anybody want to volunteer to go first? Your updates?
I've looked into the servant, the Ruby. I've determined that she has been replaced, but I do not know if it is a clone or what's the other one? Face carver, is it?
Face dancer.
Face dancer.
Face carver. That's meta. Or face
I mean, that comes
dancer.
later. I mean, that's part of the job.
Yeah.
Part of their job. I mean,
Face dancer is also intensely disturbing, though. To be fair,
The whole
they're
thing
both
is,
pretty
yeah.
disturbing.
the whole thing
Yeah.
is.
Fair point.
Did you know how to tell how to tell the difference between them? Is there like a face dancer mark or a clone hair color or something?
Not really.
Yeah, I feel like that would defeat the whole purpose of them.
I mean, if we were to, yeah.
So how shall we proceed with her?
You did get into a taxi for off-world, I believe. Is there a way we could track that?
Well, it wasn't off world. It was just on a different island. But
Okay.
yeah.
Island.
Yeah, you could give that a shot. You could try to actually, given that it was a taxi, you have a shot at accessing the records of the company. And by taxi, it is in fact a boat, because this is a planet that is mostly water. So it was a hired boat, which but yeah, so you can yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like a Ford boat.
So yeah, actually, yeah, you have a shot at maybe you'd have to get someone to basically just access the taxi company's records and see if you can figure out where it went. So yeah, that is a thing that is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have my people look into that.
Okay.
That's your assignment. Do you have any other updates?
I will also say that Operation Catfish was a success. We have an asset that we can release on our sting operation if need be. And also, what info and I will also give like the info that Ricius gave, which currently isn't much. It just is basically a confirmation that the artificial island that I stumbled upon with the arrays on it is in fact associated with the people that we are currently looking into at the apartment that we're building the sting operation at. So it's like all the threads are converging.
In which case, Hunter is like sting operation.
Peter, can you fill Hunter in, please?
Yes, ma'am. And I will fill Hunter in on this sting operation and the people that we are tailing and watching.
I believe Hunter's good at things like that. So maybe
Yeah.
you two can connect her and do more sting planning.
Understood. I can hear a cat in the background.
We have them.
Sorry.
They happen.
Love it.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I love cats. I love cats, so I don't mind.
They make the internet go. It's perfect.
There's a
They do.
game going on in the background. With,
Oh, gotcha.
can you please turn it down? Please turn it down. I don't know. Let me do it then.
All right. Anyone else?
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, there are a few things that I can bring up at this point. If there's as a lot of things I've been
Yes, please.
putting up the I've been sending up the chain to Talus. So she should have a good portion of this information. As I've just sort of been bouncing around looking at a few different things. Lately, I think the thing that's most, in case anyone here doesn't know this yet, the thing that I think is probably going to be the most immediate threat is the fact that Latan has is that Latan has cloning chambers. They were trying to figure out what that. There was a big shipment that they got. I was able to trace it back and figure out that they have Tlilac cloning chambers. So, if anyone was wondering where they were going to get, if they needed additional people to try to challenge us with anything, that's I think how they're doing it.
Stop.
This is also where our suspicion of face dancers came in, because again, House Tlilac, and so it's there's a possibility that Alexis looped me in on the situation with the with Ruby, and so there is we think there's a possibility that Ruby might be a face dancer. Also, there's a chance that fellow that dispatcher Gavril might actually be one as well. Maybe. Silas, you have people on Gavril, yes? Have they seen anything?
Wait. Who's Gavril again?
Gavril
Okay,
is
yes, you do, and I forgot to update you on that, so I'll tell you now. He is the guild guy that had been talking to the Mentats that you were tailing. The Mentats that were it used to be 4 Mentats, and now it's 2 Mentats. They you actually think that Gavril was honestly just trying to work out kind of a side gig between the guild and actually not even between the guild, between himself as a guild member and the Salt Guild. So you get the sense that he was maybe kind of trying to not exactly be a spy, but sort of like if you cut me in on this, maybe I could get you a better deal, sort of thing. And you also are of the opinion maybe like he wasn't doing it very discreetly or well, but you think that's what he was up to.
Okay.
But for all of that, you think he's probably who he appears to be.
Okay, so he's not like part of the wider conspiracy.
It doesn't appear like it is. It looks like he was just doing something kind of for himself.
Okay, yeah, I will relay that information then.
Oh, he's trying to undercut my side deals with them, is he?
Want me to take him out?
Oh no, goodness no. If he's not connected to anything, he's going to make an excellent scapegoat. I need to take this fellow under my wing.
No. Speaking of, do we have any idea where the cloning vats are being kept? A location for them?
Well, we were able to track them through until they made the drop on the island, because they had to do that, at least overland. And so we know we're able to. I believe there were satellite images, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so there were satellite images, so we know where the spot they delivered it to. I don't know, of course, where they delivered the shipment to. Don't know where they would have moved them from there or not, but I can get that data.
Right, and for clarification, that is in fact the island that Latan still owns.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think like if there's cloning vats, it's going to be quite obvious if they're being moved. Because I think I'm going to assume that they are not small.
They are huge.
How many cloning vats would there have been in a shipment that can hold 2.5 Guild Navigator tanks?
Your estimate would
What's the
be
equivalent?
5 or 6.
Okay, so there are probably about 5 or 6 of them. Yeah, depending.
And how long do cloning take place? Like to grow one person?
If it's just a like laborer that doesn't need a whole lot of like extra stuff or free will or anything like that, it's a fairly quick process. It can you can get an adult sized clone in a matter of days. Anything more complex, like a Gola or something that is literally based on the genetic material of like an actual person. That, on the other hand, takes significantly longer.
Okay.
Is it about
so
Sorry.
Ruby would have taken a while.
If she's a Gola, if
Yeah.
she's a face dancer, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would do soldiers take longer than workers?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
A little bit.
Okay, so they are not cloning an army to overrun us from the inside, I'm gonna assume.
Or if they are, it won't be ready for quite some time.
Yeah, a century. I don't know. So they're just probably
Is it
using
one
them for
clone per
infiltration.
tank, or is it? Do we know?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
but,
okay. They can
so-
only make like 6 at a time, and
Right.
Yeah.
each time it's going to take maybe for a soldier like a week, maybe I would assume.
Probably, yeah. Actually, a week's a good estimate for a soldier.
Yeah. So-
About half that time if you just need someone to
Yeah.
like pick things up and move them.
And then they only received that shipment not long ago, right?
It was quite recent. It was about a week ago.
Okay. Right. So at most they have 6 more people right now.
Probably, yeah.
If they got them working immediately, which
Yeah.
Probably not, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we should track down where those vats are. Could be a point of attack that we can use.
Is there a way we could find out more about the face dancers? Since there are possibilities.
well, the trick there is getting a hold of someone from Twi'lek. Those are normally the people we'd ask, yes?
Could we pretend to hire them or?
Possibly.
Does Talilac have like a, I don't know, what's the word? When you an embassy in our planet that we can go talk to?
Not yet. That might be something they would establish, but they do have official representatives here, largely because they are a major house and the important people are showing up in order to kind of be here for the handover. But
We make sure that we talk to the people about getting an embassy set up for them.
Yeah, we can use that as sort of like a trade. Tell us if there's any like face dancers active in our planet, and in exchange we give you this extra stuff or something like that.
I don't think that we could just go to them and be like, this is already looking at me.
I know this is not Silas the part, but he spies on people and have them taken out from the back. This falls under the purview of someone else to try to weave that information out.
Okay, so
It's entirely possible they might need more convincing. The embassy may seem lucrative, but they could also see it as a method for us getting information on them, spying, using their own embassy on. Might need something else to sweeten the deal.
And let me know
Talis, could you do that, Talis? Could you talk to them?
I could.
You're really good at that. You know all the intricacies.
See what I can do. See if there's any strings I can pull to make them see if there's something that they want.
I'll also offer if you want any of this to seem deliciously illicit, I can also help. If you'd like me to schmooze them a bit.
Yes.
Yes, that would be.
I am burning with this desire to ask Brian if I can do this or not. With an asset. May I have a pleasure yacht?
Of course. That just given your character and your the other side of your family, I can't imagine you don't. So yeah, that checks out.
It's basically my thought is, if this is acceptable, that it's one of those. It's a space vehicle, but that can go down into atmosphere. So it is rather like is if you were going and touring to a planet or wherever.
Sure.
And so you can be hovering over the water if you need to, but then you can also go up into space. And,
okay, yeah, that's fine.
My thought is that it's basically where I throw parties and stuff for people when I'm pretending to be the corrupt spacing guild guy.
Sure.
Who is looking to have sort of make illicit deals with people, that kind of thing. So that's sort of the thing where if we need to seem, it's that extra layer. If it seems as though I'm trying to do something under the table, but that's not actually that seems more criminal than actually spy type stuff. Sure. Basically.
I got you.
So that shield.
There's so many layers with us.
I know.
It's not even a layer cake. This is not even I don't know, the super onion or what is it? The thing that you keep folding, croissant. We're croissant basically right now.
Nice.
Yes, it's the puff pastry house.
Delightful flaky layers.
Oh, that reminds me. What is our house's standing with House Atreides?
I think I have to answer that. Actually, you are friendly with House Atreides. You haven't done anything to piss each other off. I'll tell you that. And in general, you sort of leave each other alone, though. You are, for all intents and purposes, neutral, which in this setting equates to friendly. So.
Yeah. Okay. I will say at this point, I'll bring out that the Bene Gesserit that I have been stalking has been meeting up with the location of where House Atreides is set up. Spent almost an hour there. So I'll just put this question out to the others: has there been any dealings that we've had with House Atreides that could warrant the Bene Gesserit's association with them? This assassin.
Yeah. You're not. You feel like you would know it if you'd pissed off Atreides.
And this is before they were handed Arrakis, right?
Oh yeah, they're still on Caladan at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are known as being on that other planet with a whole bunch of oceans on it. But it also has a fair amount of land, and they grow rice. So
yeah. So yeah, I'll give that information and go. So should House Atreides be someone we should watch out for?
Was that to me? I'm sorry.
Nah, to the
I think it
general
was too
table.
general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have any experience with them?
Oh, you do actually.
Yeah.
You've been to Caladan. I'm trying to figure out if you've been to Caladan. You haven't had any direct contact with any of the actual nobles of House Atreides, but you have dealt with their retainers and their because if you were the people that you would have to deal with during the general course of your job, and first off, you get the sense that they treat their subjects well. You've traveled around enough that you also know that they are, in general, gaining support amongst other houses. And there's a lot of talk around that because a lot of times when that happens, other people start to get worried about that house. And by other people, that's often ends up being the Empire. So the actual Imperial house may not like them. You know that they are not above engaging in your services because you have smuggled things that you are certain had the sanction of the people running the house. You also know that they are canny enough not to be out in the open about it. They did the usual things. They had the middlemen, and they did all of that. But generally speaking, they seem to be. They seem to have not made too many enemies. However, you do know that they tried to establish a presence on Arrakis, like any house does, because it's where the spice comes from. You want a person there, and House Harkonnen just unilaterally denied that to them. So at least one house doesn't like them.
Right.
But beyond that, they is there anything else specifically you're looking for? Oh, and I will tell you though, they don't seem. They've had dealings with Versai specifically on the art side. They have purchased art from the Academy, and one of the sort of offshoots of the family is currently attending the Academy, but the old Academy. So they have someone on the homeworld.
So I'll just say to Silas, I'd be awfully surprised if they were expending time and energy on you. It seems to me like they're popular enough, powerful enough, straight enough shooters. Why would they come after us?
Then this Bene Gesserit is going after them for a different reason. So the question is Atreides an ally to them, or are they also a target?
If you forced me to pick, I'd say target.
Then perhaps House Atreides can be of assistance with us in parts of our issues. Shared enemies.
What are your issues exactly? If you could just make that clear, other than, the normal backstabby, subterfuge stuff that you were always up to.
Well, you know me, I'm suspicious.
Oh no, I completely believe that you have things to be suspicious about. I'm just curious what exactly your issues are, other than just staying in power on this planet you know nothing about.
Well, for me, it's not dying. not, not disappointed of people that have so graciously taken me in.
This was in character, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what she
Okay.
doesn't want. She doesn't want to disappoint the people who are taking her in.
And I have a vested interest in keeping her alive, so I need to explore all avenues. There cannot be any leakage.
Well, as you said, we do not know about all the mysteries of this planet, but we would like to know who else does.
Why?
Who lived here before?
Something up, old man.
Why do you want to know who else does?
Why not?
Well, I mean, if people lived here before, they would know about it, and we should listen to what they have to say. And they
All
should
I'm
be,
saying,
in my opinion, but I'm not in charge enough for that. I'm saying you should, if you, but generally what I've learned from reading our out of character question, they do have like history classes, right? That they have to take.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I'm sure.
So Rose is going to continue. It's like, in general, I've learned from reading in all the history books is when you move someplace, you don't just take over and not pay attention to the people who lived there before. You know, we don't just go in and do what you want. So we need to learn from everybody. We need to respect that they were here first and to work together.
And yet it
Progressive
seems
for
to
Dune
me-
people.
It seems to me like all of this intrigue, all of the things that have been needling at you this whole time has done an excellent job of distracting you from doing any of that, which if you think in the long term is actually a better way to destabilize your house. Keep you paranoid, keep you on your toes, keep you looking behind your back and never in front of your face. What is the house going to do for the people of Ahiri before all of this change happens to them? Or are we going to let these people take so much of our energy that that's all we're thinking about?
Seem to have a mind about this. What do you suggest?
What do I suggest?
Yes.
Well, actually, let me ask an out of character question really quick. Because like 9 of the 12 storm machines are off, does that mean there have been really bad storms?
They have been worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, some of other ones are still working, so nothing catastrophic has happened for that reason. But you suspect, no, not suspect. You are you do know that the new ones were built to replace those other ones.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, the weather has decidedly been worse.
Right. House Latan has done a piss poor job of keeping up the infrastructure of this planet. Storms are getting worse because the machines intended to stop them have been slowly going out of service. An easy way, a quick way to insulate yourself from some of these off-world machinations is to do the kinds of things that make people here be interested in taking up arms in your defense or hiding you if you need to be hid.
I have a question for you. Who is in charge of
Escape.
of that?
Did I escape?
Yes. Who's in charge of that?
Kidnap.
Do you?
Did I kidnap?
I'm sorry.
Kidnap. Did I kidnap?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know. Yes, probably. Sorry.
All right.
That was an amazing response.
Yeah, actually, I've said that myself.
But I agree with you. I think that's great, and we should also we have this big fancy thing coming up, and none of them are involved. So we should have something for them, for the people who actually live here, and connect with the people here, like you said, for their strings, what they know about this planet, why get the storm machines back on like they should be. There's probably a lot of other stuff that I don't know about. I need to learn about this stuff.
Question.
Brian?
Point of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I do have a question for Brian. So I'm presuming that quite a few locals probably work at the Ionos shipyards, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay. When I was there, how did it look like they were being... I mean, because that's like the best picture that I've had of them locally, aside from talking with the Salt Guild, is to see just sort of how... So I mean, I've seen the Salt Guild at a party, and then I've been among sort of the folks at working at the Ionos shipyard. And so did I learn anything about conditions for people or anything like that?
Yes, you get the sense that the people that are working for House Ionos are extremely happy that they are not working for House Latan. That is basically it. The shipyard jobs are difficult. They are long hours, but they are well compensated, and and House Ionos does take care of its people.
Yeah.
So jobs.
Poach employees?
What?
Are we allowed to poach employees?
Oh yeah.
Is it even poaching at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
We need shipyard people, and I'm just saying they might not be happy. They might want to, if they're not going to unionize, then maybe they can work for a better
yeah, I will
organization.
tell you, unions are not a thing in this setting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So they're not a thing. So they need a better employer they'll be happier with.
but yeah, the ones working for Ionos are not unhappy. And again, but those jobs are heavily sought after because, like, if you don't work for Ionos, now things are shifting, but up until fairly recently, if you weren't working for Ionos or the Salt Guild, you were working for Latan, and nobody likes that. You are hard pressed to find anyone that enjoyed that experience.
Are we taking care of that kind of thing as far as just planetary outreach? Is that on the Chancellery side of things? Or is that,
I mean, there are people for that. It just doesn't happen to be any of the player characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are people for that, and we can address that if that's something you want to get into. But yeah, right now, that
I
has.
have another question. The list of people that Rose got to invite, were any of them local community?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them were. In fact, those were the ones that Reginald told you would probably piss off the people you want to piss off the most. They had been ignoring a lot of the locals, and not only by they, I mean House Procyon had also been ignoring a lot of the locals. But so yeah, a lot of them were prominent people from this world that were on the verge of being overlooked.
Okay, so I want to point that out, and I want to
I think you muted.
Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Nope, still.
Ryan, can you hear us?
Oh wait,
Uh-oh.
my speakers are off.
Aha!
Oh no.
Sorry.
Ha!
You promised the laughter. You brought the laughter.
Yes, right. Yes, absolutely cannot hear you right now.
That was great. I tried to unmute. I turned off my speakers, and then I turned on my speakers and muted myself because I'm a genius. I apologize. Okay, sorry about that. What were you saying?
I want to relay that about the list of people that my boyfriend
Yeah, right.
get the list of people, and I went to also check the list and make sure the vendors for these big parties we're having are of those local people.
Oh, not a problem. You can do that. Yeah, and you have the power to make those decisions. So yeah, you can switch that.
Yeah, the vendors are going to be local people now, and I'm going to just relate to all of you that the people that are on this list are locals.
And the out of character also, the big event, like, what is that supposed to be celebrating? Versailles just being here?
Yeah, it's basic. It's kind of like the grand opening.
Gotcha.
It's basically to officially commemorate the handover from Latan to Versailles.
Are we actually doing like a
So-
handing over ceremony at that, or is there a?
Yes, there will be. Okay, here's the thing: the actual ceremony already happened because that was just a few people, but there will be a more performative ceremony at the big party. Something far more symbolic.
Right.
Is the emperor coming to that, or any of the emperors?
The
people?
emperor will not be coming.
Okay, it's not that important.
The emperor was invited, but the emperor will not be coming.
One of the things that's gaining House Atreides support throughout the galaxy is that it's known for treating its people well, very publicly so. Fix the weather machines, and instead of having a party celebrating House Versailles being here, have a party celebrating fixing the weather machines.
Do I have the power to do that?
Yeah, well, except that you don't currently know how to fix the weather machines.
Right. But if I knew how to fix them,
Oh, sure.
fixed.
Yeah, you could put those wheels in motion if you got the information, right?
Yeah. So if we get it fixed, then yes, I can change it to that.
Ah, well.
Did
I
you
can help
want
with that.
to take care of that initiative yourself, Rose, or did you want me to inform the have the consort spearhead that? If it does
I'll
work,
tell the
that is a
consort.
boon for you.
No, I'll
Do
tell the
it,
consort.
Rose.
This is my decision. I will tell the consort.
Good.
Do it under your name, Rose.
I'm sorry.
Do it under your name.
Yeah, under my name. Well,
Yeah.
Roses.
Don't give the consort a chance to take it out from under your feet. Do it under your name. Word to the wise.
Talus just gives Hunter just like a look, a little bit of a look.
No offense, Palace. No offense.
At some point, Nero will actually also be kind of around when people aren't looking at him. Is going
Uh-huh.
to give Hunter a sort of little sort of look signal of just sort of like, "You okay? Everything okay?" Because
Things back, puts his boots up on the table.
Nice.
crosses his legs.
this is more than Hunter has talked at any meeting, I think, probably about
Totally.
anything that we've had happening.
100%.
Is it actually Hunter? Is it a clone or?
And also I mean
Oh,
Nero's
crap. What have they done with Hunter?
Nero feels like Hunter's got Nero thinks that Hunter is still Hunter, but Nero thinks Hunter's got
Yeah.
something on his mind and that he just wants to make sure he's okay. Basically.
Gotcha.
Type deal.
Okay, what we're doing, is there any of your projects that we can use to help this along, or can this help any of your projects along?
I'm
All of you.
A mushroom market.
I don't have projects, so
You don't have projects?
I just take things from one place to another. That's when I have projects. If you got stuff for me to move around,
You're talented. You need projects.
let's be real. I'm good at driving, but I can help you with the weather machines.
Okay. And if there's anything else that you need, just let me know and I'll take care of it.
Sounds good.
Talus, is there anything that is helpful that you're working on?
I believe I have my side under control. Once with this business, you want me to proceed with this business with Felix, right? About the embassy. Okay. After that's done, I'd like to take a bit of a leave to investigate one of the transmissions facilities that you found. If my presence can be spared for a moment. I'm pretty sure that this investigation that Silas and Nero are undertaking, the information that we got, can be done just as well without my interference in that.
Do you need any help with your mission?
I do not believe I do. I think discretion would be best.
Okay. Nero?
A couple of things. And before I forget, I just wanted to, and he's probably looking through his notes for a second because Jim is looking through his notes. And who did I talk to that was in the Salt Guild? Who did I go out on that boat with?
Oh man, I've got the name. Hang on.
That was Laris. That was Laris Forrester.
Thank you. It certainly was.
Okay.
That's it. You beat me to it. It was. Yeah, I got it.
Well, one thing before I forget, talk to when you're working out the with the weather machines. I talked a little bit with Laris Forrester about it. You probably should also talk to him, because we've been trying to work some things out to try to get the Salt Guild a little bit better access to as far as guild lines. I've actually extended them a little bit of credit while we're setting things up. And so you might want to loop him in on it. Because he's the logistics master for the Salt Guild. When you get to that, when you do that. But as far as the sting operation, I suppose, goes, and again, this is just a question of just as far as my part. As far as I understand, my part is if you need me to come in later and distract people. I have had thoughts about filling in those two question marks that are on their board with respect to me. One is, now that we've confirmed that Gavril is clean if misguided, I think he'd make an excellent candidate of someone for them to focus on. And as far as the other one, are we using that other? Have we decided what we're using that bounty hunter? Not bounty hunter. Have we that smuggler for? Have we decided what we're using that smuggler for? Not
yet.
That other. There's a smuggler we ran into. Do you know? Do I have the? Do we have the smuggler's
name? Oh wait, this
name?
smuggler is not the. Oh, is this another guy? I thought this was the.
Yeah, hold on.
We flipped.
The smuggler is the one that we flipped. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same one.
Oh, okay.
Do we?
We do have the name. I gotta find it. Hang on. Sorry about that. It's over here.
Let me see if. Wait, do I have it? I do not.
You do not. One moment. Sorry. I will. Sebastian.
Do we have a last name for Sebastian, or just?
Actually, he is. He only goes by Sebastian.
Okay. And so because
he's one of those.
So seeing Hunter's incredulous looks at Newton is going to be like, right, you haven't been here. Do you know that fellow Sebastian?
And yeah, you do.
The one who just uses the one name like he's some kind of celebrity.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Art
Yes,
smuggler.
I know Sebastian.
Yeah. He's
Art. Yeah, depends on your taste.
Yeah. So he's the one we were talking about earlier that we've managed to flip from Latan. But did we decided what we're using Sebastian for? He asked at the table.
No, I don't think anyone has. Yeah, I haven't.
If you have any suggestions,
if you want, we could. And this might be a little bit dangerous, as he has had contact with Latan. But if we want, we could put him. If we're wanting to create the illusion of this, shall we say doing the smuggling on the side thing. If we want to create the illusion that I'm helming any of that, we could fill him in as the other question mark. If you want to do that, we don't have to. If you want to use him for something else, and actually, I think we should debrief him before we try anything like that. But just to find out what he knows about Latan.
Did you find out anything about any runs that he's been making for them recently?
What did we have?
I would know this, I think.
Yeah, Silas, you do. Yeah, sure enough. He was never officially under contract for Latan, but he did a lot of work for them. Yeah, most recently, He did, in fact, he legitimately did smuggle some art. It was, and literally all 6 of you would be aware of, what it was just because of the house you're associated with. It was, in this case, some very rare, very old sculptures that, it's one of those things like, it's sort of a feather in the cap of a house if you have that kind of thing. If you had to guess, it was probably like, sure, you're the Art Academy house, but you don't have these, that kind of thing.
But nothing to indicate what Daisy was referring to when Daisy said that there was something much bigger than Latan.
Oh. Well, actually, no, you do know. Sebastian's not as good as Hunter.
Well, duh.
Yeah. But he's not terrible, which means that he is able to cover his tracks to an extent. He's not able to cover his tracks entirely, especially when House Versai points its information gathering might at it. So, Silas, now that people have been talking about House Twilax, he was definitely seen entering and coming from the sector that House Twilax's homeworld is in. More than one.
Clone. No.
Yeah. And by he, of course, what I really mean is he had to work with the guild to do this, because that's how you get to another system. But that's one of the things that makes it a little harder to cover your tracks. But once you're in a certain area, if you have a fast and powerful enough ship, you can, let's see. Actually, Silas, you would be aware of this. And Hunter, you've done this. You can, if you have enough time, you can disembark from the guild highliner in one place, and then, like I said, if you have a fast enough ship, because faster than light travel does exist, it's just by the non-guild faster than light travel does exist. It's just not as fast as the guild can do it, which means you really can't effectively go more than like a system or 2 away from where you are. So all of that is to say, you can get out of the highliner at one place and then quickly go some other place, and that makes you a lot harder to pinpoint. And this probably wouldn't have meant anything to you, Silas, except people keep saying Twilax, and you're like, wait, isn't that in that area? So now, yeah, you've kind of got that idea.
Okay. Yes, I will relay all of this.
Okay.
Ah. Ooh. Well, we might, if that's the case, we might want to hold off actually with on what we want to use them on until we've had a chance to actually look. I mean, that's what I would think as far as that, as far as using him for this. You can use a gambler or something else. I was just trying to think, and it just sort of we'll sort of glancing over at under his. I was just thinking for a moment of someone with, if we wanted them to focus on someone other than you. Basically, if we needed to set up a patsy, basically a patsy smuggler for us.
I'm at no risk of being discovered about anything anyway. I don't
They did have a file on
a
you.
patsy the way sometimes the guild does.
And
That's the dream, to not be ever be unrestricted.
Yeah.
They have a file on me.
No, didn't they tell us? Didn't you say that there was a file on Hunter in there?
The apartment.
Hunter wasn't
one
on
of the dossiers in the apartment was on Hunter. Yeah.
I wasn't there on that game, so I don't know.
Actually, yes, there was.
And you don't even have to you don't even have to pretend to go around and be drunk all the time. It's just great.
What was in the file on me exactly?
Tell us, I can answer this. Not much.
I think Talos will just be like nothing of importance.
Rest my case.
Can we add stuff to our files?
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Oh boy.
Oh, I love that idea.
Is it just a?
I like that idea a lot.
I can. I was having a secondary thought of if we don't use the smuggler to fill in a question mark, I can grab someone from a gambling ring. I think might work.
Okay.
If we're good with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can always go back to that asset if we need to. It's always good to have it.
And just take some folks out on the yacht to play cards.
So how are we feeling about things? The 5 of you. Or however many, I don't know.
How many of us are here?
Sorry. It is 4.
No,
There are only 5 of you here. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I was. Yeah. How are we feeling about things?
No, I said 6 earlier too. I was counting myself. I'm not at this meeting.
You're just looking at the windows on the screen. There are 6 windows.
I am. Yeah, that was it.
Well,
Things seem
Well,
to be in hand.
Hmm.
You comfortable with your role and things? Anything else you need? I can always discreetly inquire resources without having to.
I think I'm okay right now, but I will reach out if something comes up. I am going to see if I can get more information from my resource that I acquired.
Hmm.
I mean, the actual person, not just a resource, but
Resource nonetheless.
I think Nero will give Rose a look of sort of like a can we talk after the meeting look. A very brief sort of like that little sort of signal for that.
get a nod. How's everyone else feeling about this? We've got a lot coming up, a lot of work to do.
Well, personally, I'm feeling all of this is way too convoluted for my liking. I would much rather just lead the thorns and kill all of these people. But I also understand that that would not solve the problem at its core, so I will hold off.
You know, do
Yeah.
it when it comes down to it.
We need to solve the problem first before you can go out on a killing spree.
Prioritize.
Solve first, then kill. Yeah.
We have to make sure that who we're actually killing are people responsible, not just the middleman.
Correct. Hunter, how are you feeling about this?
Great. Everything's great.
I'm surprised that I'm asking you.
Yeah, a little.
Okay, I'll send you a bottle of wine or something. I don't know. You're all valued parts of this team. I'm laughing. Rose is not laughing, but I am. Sorry.
Okay.
Rose is very serious. You're all valued parts of this team. I want to make sure we're good and that we're all going in the same direction.
Yeah. And actually, one thing Nero will sort of turn to Talus and say, "Oh yeah, that thing that I said I wasn't going to mention until that we had this meeting. It's this is simple enough. This is another small piece of everything. Just if you want me to, at some point as part of what we're and it'll actually look at Talus and Silas and sort of, if at some point you oh god, Jim is getting things are falling out of Jim's brain. My apologies. There is someone we were thinking about taking a softer approach with as far as getting information out. It might have been Ruby. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was Ruby.
It might have been Ruby. And there's a if it comes down to it, I think if we run into a roadblock at some point, I can try to see if Alexis might want to invite her to do some sort of party where they take the yacht or something, but then I can try to come in and question her afterwards.
Yeah, right now, Ruby, I think is thinking she's moving up the hierarchy. Is that correct? Because I've kind of been.
Yeah, I think if I recall right, that's where you left it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, she's obviously not, because we're trying to figure out what's going on. But I just thought she would feel more comfortable if she felt she had some sort of power in the situation.
Yes. We're comfortable with this person being an asset for information, but we authorize any sort of neutralization if this asset goes out of our control.
Yeah.
And I still want to find out what happened to the real Ruby. That's important for me, not for this whole thing, but I really want to know what happened to the
Yeah,
real
that would be
Ruby.
good.
I'm on
Something
it.
I can take care of as well.
No.
Going over comings and goings with our staff. Something I can.
And I don't want any of you to be cloned or whatever. So should we have a tell or something?
That's a good
Just
idea.
ask it to do a calculation. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, if the imposter talus can do that, you have much bigger problems.
Yes, it's like if
That's,
you can copy the face, but you can't copy the training.
Yeah, I don't want any of you to be imposters, so that would be really bad.
Hmm. Ask me about Alexis's homework, and if I tell you it's anything other than dismal, then you know that it's not me. Because you'll know that that's a lie. Actually, because and it's sort of an inside joke because we know that's a lie. but it's the way that he says dismal that actually is more of the thing.
I don't know if you even have to like say for Silas, because if Silas is the one who covered, you're in. That's a lot of trouble. You're in.
Yeah.
Not to, it's like all bets are off.
that would be a bad twist.
That would be a bad. Yeah. That would.
Yeah.
I'm sure something like that won't happen.
In the back. That's never happened. No.
Nope.
And I honestly have no idea what to tell you because I'm under so many layers of different things. I can't.
My favorite food's jelly donuts. My mother's maiden name is Janice.
Oh, Janice? I don't know Janice.
That'll work.
My first car was a Mustang.
What's
It's canon now. There's Mustang in
Yep.
Dune.
What was your mother's maiden name? Which street did you grow up on? And what was the name of
Right.
the first?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mustangs, good vehicles.
Yep.
Oh, I know. You can ask what my name is.
Oh, damn. That's a good point.
Ooh.
I mean, you all know my name, but nobody else does.
That is true.
Okay, well, I think this went pretty well. I'm going to go spill some wine on myself and pretend I was passed out drunk in a corner somewhere.
Ah, yes, let me help you with that.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, unless there's anything else at the dinner. I know that Nero wanted to talk to Rose.
So does Hunter, but I don't think that he'd approach if he sees Nero approaching.
Okay. I mean,
We'll
you
find
can.
another time to talk.
Yeah, we can hit that one next if you want. We'll figure out when you do that.
Another time is fine.
Just keeps
Okay.
happening, Nero. Just keeps.
That is true. That's like the second or third time
This
that's
keeps
happened.
bogarting conversations. My apologies.
No. I'm making a character decision. I'm not bothered at all.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So then maybe what happens is that Nero's helping Rose like spill wine on herself or
Yeah, so
something.
he's like,
Yeah, actually, that'd be a great time to
Yeah,
talk to
there we go.
Rose. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that if you want, and then we'll
Okay.
figure out when Hunter's able to get Rose's attention as well.
and so he'll just be kind of stand, just go over to where in the corner with the wine glass, and just will be like, so there's, and this is something you don't normally see him. You don't normally see Nero quite this earnest seeming, as he's going to say, Rose, there's with this Ruby thing, I don't know how much more, when you go back in and you're in contact and all that. I think Alexis is ready for this level of stuff, and as far as if she is ends up, but you understand how dangerous face dancers are. But I think that I don't know if I've ever properly expressed this because we have layers upon layers upon layers. But I am telling you honestly. Alexis means the world to me. And I would appreciate it. Well, she is quite skilled, obviously. But also still young. So I would appreciate it if she comes out of this well. If she comes out of this. All right. I don't know if I'm getting this across very well, but
No, you are. She will. It's priority.
I appreciate. I mean, obviously, let her do what she does, but if you would, but I just
Unnecessary danger.
It's a very difficult time for her right now, and I just want to make sure she's knows what she wants to do and is doing what she wants to do, and it's very hard to sometimes know,
Yes.
Actually, do I know I know we know this. I need to see the name of the and I mean Vivica seems to really like her, and I am appreciative of that. And so I think she does have a chance with her, but at the same time, as far as this goes, there's a chance of things with of having the sort of future she wants. But this assignment in particular is she was a little worried about it. Just so long, I'd appreciate any sort of reassurances that might be helpful to her, and just keep an eye, just make sure she's okay.
I will.
Thank you. And he will clasp your hand with the non-wine hand, and he's right. Well then, ready?
Go for it.
How dare you? And he will throw the wine on you.
This is shock telenovela.
It's like, that looks good.
The how dare you is a nice touch.
Yes.
Do we want to cut to when Hunter catches up to Rose?
Sure. I think he'd try to find Rose, whether like that night or another day.
Okay.
Like at a casual moment, like if Rose is sitting on a bench in the gardens, or something that's not I'm coming to your chambers and putting my name on a guest list.
Yeah.
And he's never approached Rose, like ever.
She could be like in the garden, like hitting a hammer on a block or something.
Yeah. Okay. Are you doing something with that rock, or just getting out some energy?
Both. If I hit it hard enough, eventually the sculpture will come out. But right now,
Sure. Of
turning
broken-
it up. I don't know what it's going to be. But it's fun just to hit something hard sometimes. You want to try?
No, I'm good. I hit things hard all the time. I just look. You weren't born into any of this. Why the hell do you do it? I just was sitting there at that meeting listening to everything everyone was saying, and it's a hell of a way to live.
Well, I feel kind of a little obligated because I didn't really have any prospects. And I just kind of got swept into this. So I want to do right by the people that are taking me in. And I have this job, so I need to do pretty well at it. I'm not going to just not do well.
Oh, no, I don't want you to not do well. I just carve out a place for yourself. Don't stay in the shadows of the consort. Don't trust the shadows of the consort.
Yeah, because there is a lot of layers, like you said. Just it's hard to disappoint her.
Right, I'm sure.
But I probably am soon. So wish me luck.
Is she as loyal to you as you are to her? Because my guess is the answer is no.
Oh no, definitely not.
Right.
No, I'm pretty sure if I make too many mistakes, I probably will disappear.
Right. Like I say, hell of a way to live.
Yeah, but this is where I am. And so I've just got to do my best, and hopefully the cards will fall in such a way that I come out on top.
This is a
not-
very
Drive in the streets.
it's a very forgiving planet if you have the right friends. If the right people know you and respect you. If you
good.
needed to keep your feet under you during chaos, if you needed to have a name for yourself and a place for yourself, making this planet like you, that's the way to do it. Don't give her credit for what you do.
Thank you. I'll put my own name on these things.
Your own name?
Well, the name that I'm using.
You haven't been doing this as long as me. Going by a code name gets pretty empty eventually.
Yeah. It does. Like I said, I didn't have any prospects, so I just did whatever I needed to survive at the time, and I'll find a way to get my name back or another name.
Yeah. What's your long game other than survival?
I have not figured that out.
And all of your advisors, your staff, your support, no one's asked you what your long game is.
No, I honestly think they don't think I'm going to stick around that long. Or if they do, I don't think they think I will. I mean, you saw what happened before to the other heir.
I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's got like a list of the substitute heirs lined up somewhere, just waiting in the shadows.
She probably does. And substitute houses too.
Yeah. You know, That's really that kind of person. Really, I'm not going to say anything
Don't live like that.
because I'm very lucky. I'm just going to say that I've gotten a very lucky spot in life.
I'm just saying that if you can find a way to live with less layers, pick that way.
I'll see if there's some kind of way.
I'll get these machines fixed in your name.
That's a good start, I think.
Have your backup plan ready for if things go wrong for the house here.
I will. Working on it now.
I'll make sure the right people on this planet know the good that you're doing for them.
Thanks. You know, when I get the statue fixed, I'll do it under Esther Rose.
It's a nice name.
Thank you. I had it for, well, until the consort decided I was the replacement.
Yeah.
It was the previous era replacement too.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's like a whole thing that this consort does. Do you know anything about the consort before this all happened?
I know I don't trust her. I know she's been around other families that have had tragedies befall them.
Do you know, is there somewhere I can read about it?
If she's good at what she does, no.
I know where I can. No, I'm curious now, but I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Whose feathers?
I don't. There's lots and lots of ears and eyes everywhere. I'm just really curious about the other houses, and I think I have some ideas now.
You know, when you're in your own ship, traveling between sectors, there's no ears or eyes, just yours. Maybe whoever you invited on your ship with you. I hope you have some of that eventually someday.
Yeah. I will.
Make sure that your advisors see to that. Let's start walking away.
Gotcha. All
You
right.
just like throw the hammer at the block.
Goes back to sculpting. Nice. All right. We still got a bit of time left, which is excellent. All right. So actually, yeah, so Silas and Nero, you guys are you still after apartment guy? I'm just gonna call him apartment guy.
I think we're still watching them. Trying to see who else they're meeting up with.
Yeah.
Basically trying to see if they will lead us to whoever is their leader.
One thing that you've figured out is that they never physically meet with anyone that they are communicating with. They are being extraordinarily careful and circumspect about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. How
They do communicate with dead drops, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah. And you know that restaurant is is a spot for that. You suspect there are probably others.
Okay.
Sunrise Hall is the name of that restaurant.
Okay.
You do know that restaurant, and you've spotted it's not on a pattern, so you can't like set your watch by it. But if the right person is there, because you know what apartment guy looks like, so usually he only shows up there when he is dropping off something.
I know at some point I kind of want to just steal the dead drop before they get their hands.
You can do that, and I'm not going to make you roll for it. It's like because like you've been observing this enough. You and your people have been observing this enough.
Like we're making it like a fake package. But the thing is, the moment we do this, they will know we're onto them. So if that happens, it's gotta happen at the same time as other stuff that we want to put into
Okay,
motion
so you may
about
not be
this.
doing it yet, but I will tell you, you can easily do that. But you're exactly right. The drawback is someone will be expecting something and it won't be there.
Do we have I'm going to give the preamble here that if at any time I'm doing too much here, just tell me to stop and I will stop. But what I'd like to know is my initial thing here. Do we know first off what apartment guy appears to do, at least as far as profession, that kind of thing? Does he have?
Oh,
what
yeah,
his standing is socially, that kind of thing. Who is he?
He is dressed as generically as he possibly can be. He is wearing the heavy clothes of a laborer. He looks like he works at the docks. He's like a cargo handler at the docks.
Okay.
You have never spotted him at the docks, but if you didn't know better, you would assume that's what he was.
Have we been watching him long enough to learn any of his vices or anything like that? What he does?
Yeah. He definitely frequents the gambling halls.
Oh, good.
And he does drink, but actually, you could figure this out. He does drink, and you are of the opinion that he's not drinking as much as he would normally drink because it might endanger his clandestine activities.
Gotcha. Okay. This is perfect. I'm gonna clear this with Silas before I do this. But I will tell Silas this plan. this plan. All right. So, this is mostly involving filling in those question marks on the board because we know, he has this board in his apartment. He's got these question marks he needs to fill. If we decide we want to speed things up, I have a proposition for you. So we know he goes to this gambling hall. I am currently trying to make some inroads as part of my cover. I am currently trying to make some. I assume we're having this conversation in a space where we can talk about shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As part of my cover, I am making some inroads with some of the local gambling hall owners, that kind of thing, in an effort to kind of connect them up with one of the bigger gambling rings. I'm going to try to get one of their reps out here. Now, my thought is that I can go to one of these, be seen in one of these gambling halls. I'm going to try to bring Gavril, and as sort of a side thing where business gets done type deal, right? And I'm going to see if I can I'm thinking if I can see if I can meet this gentleman, if I can meet this apartment person, and through various gregarious actions. I mean, I'm also I'm planning to invite the. So, let me getting ahead of myself. I'm planning an event on the yacht. We something that we can't necessarily do on planet, but we can do in orbit. Inviting some of the local gambling moguls out. And if I also happen to be playing in this gambling hall at the same time as this other individual, I can be totally taken by him and invite him along. He comes onto the yacht, and I do business in front of him. So therefore, he then has something on me, and he starts filling in those question marks with who we want the question marks to be filled with. Also, that would be an opportunity if we want to get him isolated at some point. By that point, it'd be an opportunity to do that. Get him isolated, get him away from things, if we need that to be the case. What do you think?
Well, that would speed up our entire process. Yes, I think we can do this. Lull him into a false sense of security and take advantage of that. And when do you intend to do this?
I can make some calls. I can have it probably within... I can probably have something within next few days.
Keep me posted.
Absolutely. Do we know, just one little thing, do we know what do we want to do with him once we have him?
We pry whatever information we can out of him. And find out who is the mastermind of this entire conspiracy.
Well then, I guess we'll, I guess we can prep an interrogation area.
I look forward to it.
The delightful thing about the yacht, some of the cabins give you such a wonderful amount of privacy. The airlocks, too.
Good to know.
I'll set it up.
I sharpen my surgical tools.
That brings us to Talus. What do you do after the meeting?
I think Talus goes straight to like the information security for the residents.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the person that got compromised in Rose's?
Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah.
She'll go to towards that. We need all the information on this person, Ruby.
Gotcha.
Anything seems amiss, anything unusual than their usual, then established patterns. Let me know as soon as possible.
The person that you ask says, well, we've actually been compiling that for one of Silas's people. I can give you what we have now and keep you in the loop.
Of course. Thank you.
And it says there's a 12-minute period we can't account for. Happened 4 days ago. And she didn't check in upon her return in the proper way. It didn't raise any alarms at the time, but it was enough to be noted. And when you combine that with the other things we've found,
now that we have a missing window, we can go from there. maybe come in contact with the wider surveillance around the area. Not necessarily the residents we do not have, but those. Anything else we can pick up?
I can start cross-referencing that, ma'am.
Of course. If there's too much hard information, feel free to send those directly to my quarters. I can help look over that.
His eyes widen just because he's surprised that this tells him that whatever you're asking for is important enough for you to attend to it personally.
Yes.
And he's like, he doesn't say anymore, but he
Talos will just nod him, just like understand.
And he moves off, presumably to do exactly that right now.
Talos is going to start making her way out of the room. She'll stop. One more thing you could do for me,
ma'am.
How much do we know about our friend? I believe his name is Hunter. Very familiar at the last time we got acquainted. So,
the smuggler?
Yes.
He wouldn't be doing what he does if he hadn't passed some initial background checks, but we've had no reason to dig deeper.
No, I'm giving you a reason.
I see. Which of these takes priority, ma'am?
Ruby.
I will put my best people on that one and my second best people on the other. And he says, your ears only, ma'am, or is this for anyone else?
Mine only.
Understood.
And you know what that means. Of course.
And with that, he actually heads a different direction than the one he was initially about to.
I'll contact you if I need any unscheduled updates on the situation.
Absolutely. You know where to find
me. Sure to be ready to debrief me on that.
He nods, looking just more and more uncomfortable as the as the conversation goes on.
So she'll walk out.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
I'm just saying I only rate the B team. I only rate the B team, huh?
I mean, you're not a face dancer, so maybe we'll see. We think you are.
That you think.
Or if you are, you've been one for a really long time.
Yeah.
You are under extraordinarily deep cover. All right. Well, in that case, I think this is working out damn near perfectly. Because we're coming up on the time that we usually wrap up. I think we've literally hit kind of a natural wrap-up point. However, next session could very likely be the finale. So the reason that I mean, we mentioned this before, but I think things are definitely moving in that way. So you don't have to answer this right now, but if you do have things that you definitely want to do, knowing that we may end it next time. So go ahead and throw that out. And if not, again, we have Discord, we will communicate. So it's not like,
Nice.
So, no matter what is going on, Rose is realizing that this is an actual island, a planet with actual people on it that need things. So she is going to, to the best of her ability, kind of see how she can help them with what they need.
Gotcha. All right.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, but no matter what happens, if she, just gets disappeared,
Yeah.
or whatever, these people need stuff, and she can do something to help. She's going to do as much as she can,
Okay.
but she is very worried right now.
Understood. Yeah.
An assassin for the consort or something.
For example.
But yeah, she's going to do what she can to.
Okay. All right.
And
I like it.
she's
Okay.
to her thorns. She's always nice to them.
Very good. Okay, not a problem. Anyone else?
I have 3 interrelated things.
Okay.
One is I'm going to go use the codes to make the weather machines work.
Sure.
Again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that in every area that I do that, the word is spread far and wide that it was under Rose's patronage. That
Like
was done.
specifically and personally.
Yes, exactly. And like great gossip, like how long has it been since this has been repaired? Oh, House Latan like really didn't care about that. But you know what? That one person in House Versai, yeah, Rose, like that. Is
Yeah. Okay.
where
All
that
right.
goes. I might even see if I can get a few of them redubbed, like
Oh.
the Rose of the Sea or something
Ooh.
like that.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. I like that. Sure. All right.
and then as we approach the celebration thing, I'm going to be prepping my ship to go on a long trip.
All right. So wait, was that all 3?
That's all 3.
Okay. Got it. All right. Anyone else?
And for Silas, he's going to assist Nero with what he wants to do with the gambling den, because that is
Gotcha.
specifically targeting the people at the apartment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I think he will. Silas will also at some point use that distraction of the gambling thing in order to liberate one of the package from the dead drops.
Gotcha. Okay. Hang on. Let me make and get one of the dead drops.
Yeah. And another thing that Silas will do, this one he'll do personally, is because he still doesn't really know how the Bene Gesserit connects with everything else. So he's going to, I think he's at a point where he's just like, fuck it. He's just going to confront the Bene Gesserit.
Okay. Not a
Put
problem.
an end to this.
Okay.
And maybe dance again.
Well,
I mean, why not?
yeah, we'll see. Because she's doing a lot of sketch, like the info you sent me is like, this is so sketchy. I'm like, oh God, something's happening there that we're missing.
She's been busy. All right.
Yeah.
Fair point. Okay.
Yep.
On it. Okay. Talis and or Nero.
I'm doing. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I'm going. Talis is going to priority that meeting with the what was it? The what are they called? Shoot.
Oh, the Bene Tlilax or
Yeah.
House Tlilax.
House
They are also
Tlilax,
known
yeah.
as the Bene Tlilax. Okay.
Yeah.
So gonna actually go because they have official representatives that are here for the gala, etc. So those would be the obvious ones to talk to. Are you going for them, or are you trying to find someone else?
Find someone else. Like
Oh, interesting. Okay.
like I will. I think she'll take Nero's suggestion, kind of like have it be like somewhat like as kind of like under the table as possible.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. And actually, from what Talis knows about the way House Tlilax operates, I mean, that's not going to look suspicious. That happens all the time. So actually, that's pretty good. All right. So, but not part of the official group. Okay.
I
Yes.
thought of one other thing when there's.
Okay. Hang on. Let me finish writing this before I forget what I'm doing. Okay. Ready?
I'm going to get a vial of my blood.
Okay.
I'm going to leave one with Paolo, and I'm going to leave one for Rose. And the note with the one for Rose is just ask Paolo if you ever need. It'll make sense. Promise.
Yeah, that doesn't look weird at all.
Well, I don't just hand them a vial of blood. I hand them like a nice package.
Yeah.
You know, but with the
Well, of
vial
course.
of blood, just ask Paolo. It'll make more sense then.
Tie a bow around it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Hunter's got some class. Yeah. You're not it's just enough.
No, Hunter probably almost just showed up with the fucking vial of his blood and said, Here. But at the last minute was like, oh, yeah, I should probably, okay.
Maybe make it look a little fancy. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Nero?
Hi.
Hello.
So a few things. So obviously, yeah, so Operation Gambling Boat is of course a thing that he will be focusing on in an effort
Operation Gambling Boat.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big one right now. Yeah.
The thing is so
Yeah.
from the way this is sounding, I guess Silas will be on the planet when this happens, I guess, stealing the package, or will Silas have someone doing that?
Depending on how, do you need me on the ship with you?
Only if you want to
actually-
interrogate this person.
I am on the ship with you.
Okay, so
Um,
you can have one of your people do it. That's not a problem.
Because,
Yeah.
it's just a question of because I have a different way of interrogating them. But the way I plan to approach this, and also I recognize that I talk a lot, so we don't have to do this necessarily on camera when it comes to it, because I want there to be enough time for folks, especially if we're hitting
we
the
can hit
end.
the highlights. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
But no, basically, the way that Nero is going to couch this, when eventually, if we if we get apartment guy on the boat, and if we corner apartment guy, and we start out subtly trying to get information, and the way that Nero's going to try to make this look, even up to the point that we might be, even if things get to the point that we start beating this person up for information, is that yes, once we get Guy, if we end up taking Guy into one of the cabins or into the airlock, if we end up threatening Guy, then he's going to make it look kind of like this is part of Nero's side operation to his in his support as a middleman for a criminal gambling ring.
Sure.
Basically. And so because that way, the whole point of this, again, for Nero's cover identity is that it's to make it look like it's crime instead of spies. Basically.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, sure.
So and so he's basically, I figured gambling is something that the guild will let him get away with. So
True enough. Yeah.
It's so it's better to do that.
Okay.
So that way, even if we end up letting this person go, he'll come out of it with names to put in the thing.
Right.
But then that way it'll look like and so that if Silas ends up interrogating him, it won't look as though this is necessarily a house sanctioned thing so much as just a side thing that I've corrupted Silas into.
Okay. Fair enough.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that way we're protecting our information network. So that's
you're okay.
That's the primary thing. The way we're going to make this look. And also, I mean, while he's at it, he'll schmooze people if any people want to bore. If there's anyone you folks would like me to schmooze and also invite to this gambling party to kind of kill two birds with one stone, I
Yeah,
can totally do that.
Why
you want me
pass
to
up
get
the opportunity?
You want me to get the Atreides representative up here to gamble with them? That's perfectly fine. Anything you want me to.
My boyfriend, he has a gambling problem.
Oh gosh, that's true.
Yeah, if your boyfriend
Oh
has
my
a gambling problem, I can we can invite your boyfriend.
He definitely owes money to some of those people.
Because the awesome thing is, whoever we invite to this, we will then have leverage on afterwards.
Yeah.
I think if we cast our lot with House Atreides, it's going to turn out really well in the long run.
Yeah, I figure. I mean, throw them a bone, may as well. I don't know if they're going to amount to anything.
They're a rising star.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Nah, that house won't go anywhere.
So
He's not my boyfriend, so I'm not doing this to a real person I care about.
Right.
So if that's the case, awesome. No, great. The more we have for blackmail, the better.
Fair enough.
I can make sure that we have pictures of them doing terrible, terrible things on that yacht. So so that's the main thing. Secondarily, I do want to kind of, if I can do anything to help with my connection to Ionos, if I can do anything to help Hunter's effort at this point, because then I will do that.
Sure.
Basically, it's just a thing of like, if there's any sort of outreach that they are doing as their own thing, I can try to put maybe a little bit of family support behind that, because
fair. Okay,
I am also an Ionos, so
that's true. And Ionos is definitely, they aren't loved here, but they are not hated. So they have the advantage of not being Latan. That's really what
the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So help with that. I'll help as far as if anyone needs, because I've already talked to Laris. If anyone needs me to do like a handshake thing, Laris in the Salt Guild, then I'll do a handshake set up for, it's like, here, talk to this person. And so I'll help with that. And then the other thing, I think, Nero does not have the same suspicions of Hunter that Talus does. But I think Nero possibly knows Hunter maybe a little bit better than Talus does. And so Nero is a little bit thinks there's something that Hunter's probably going to be fine, right? But Nero is a little concerned, wants to make sure Hunter is okay.
I see the distinction. I gotcha. Okay.
He'll kind of monitor what he needs to, especially if we have information, if I have information through guild resources about anything. And obviously the whole point of thing, I've been hiding Hunter's ship from the guild for some time now, I imagine. So I'm also just going to keep a few tabs.
You've helped out a few
I've
times.
been helping, I would say, yes.
I hide my ship from the guild.
You do an excellent job of that. I'm not saying you don't. It's mostly you. But I just kind of want to keep a few tabs just in case, to make sure that Hunter's not getting into anything that might be over his head. Because, of course, Nero has no idea how much support Hunter actually has right now, which is a lot. It's just a thing where it's just like, if you need a hand type thing, he's sort of like, he's not going to, he's doesn't want to impinge on anything. But if it looks like Hunter's getting in trouble, he'll try to do what he can to be there if he's needed. Basically.
Okay. And with
Is that
that,
like a conversation that we have next time, or is that like a thing where you're gathering information without talking to Hunter? Because then between sessions, I'll let you know kind of what you might have found out.
I think it's an information gathering thing. It's because basically that was kind of the thing we also did at the table. He was just sort of looking at, "You all right, old man?" That kind of thing.
Right.
He calls everybody old man. But anyway.
Well, and Hunter was strangely non-responsive to that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
So the one thing you probably do hear from like where you're positioned is that this ship is being stocked for like it's being stocked for a long journey. There's like, years worth of rations being brought onto this ship.
So there may actually then, if that's the case, there may actually be a conversation next time if there's time. Yeah. But it'll just sort of, where it'll sort of and try to anticipate if and when that might end up happening and be just sort of like, everything okay? That deal. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I think I had in mind for Nero. And it appears that our interface with the Dune universe has vanished.
Mutiny.
So I can continue I can talk about the yacht if we like.
Hey, so if a character thinks you're about to get assassinated, but they like hitch a ride.
Oh yeah, we can. We can head off.
Rose is pretty sure that somebody's going to take her out.
No, we can totally go and party on the yacht if we want to. I don't think it's particularly fast. That is the opposite of what a yacht does. But
we need to invent a fast yacht.
That's fair.
That's what you need.
Could be secretly, I don't know. But it's mostly.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if we need to do. I mean, if you want fast, Hunter's ship is probably better.
Also, I have a monkey.
You do have a monkey.
I mean, there is that.
Absolutely fair. But I think that's basically everything that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Unless there's anything else, I think this is a good place to wrap up. And we will probably do a little Discord communication between now and next session with each of you, or in some groups or whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Hey.
Yay! Awesome. I am really looking forward to what happens next time, because I have to find out. I have to know. It's too good. I have to know. Awesome. So this is going to be very cool. Thank you all very much. This is great. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. Once again, folks, feel free to tell them where they can find you, or plug anything you like, and give us any final thoughts you have about this session, or favorite bits, or what have you. And as always, we are starting in reverse order with our GM, Brian.
Yeah, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching. And as always, thanks to all of you for playing. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you are too. And yeah, you can find me. I do Armor Goes Clank, which is a podcast, and I think it's the only thing called that, so you should be able to just Google it. And I'm also involved with Play Cancer Away, so the next time they do stuff, chances are you'll find me running stuff, because first off, they are a really fun group of people to run things and play with. And secondly, it's for an excellent cause. So, come on, man, win-win. And that's it for me.
Am I next? And I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I have no idea what the order is. So I'm just waiting.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh.
There's a lot of that going around tonight.
Yes, there's a lot of that going around tonight. Yes.
Just pretend that
We're going to be, Nikki's next.
Okay.
then Janie after Nicky. And then, yeah.
Okay. All right. As Jim said, I'm Nick. You can find me as NickSnat1 on Twitter and Twitch, where I occasionally stream my D&D games when I have the time. There's no fixed schedule, but I've recently joined, or rather, I'm going to appear in a short mini campaign for TRPG. That's TEA, and I'm appearing in their Mork Borg game. That should be starting a week from now on the 10th of February. So
nice.
Yeah, you can find me there. don't know much about Mork Borg, never played it before, so this is going to be an interesting experience.
Awesome. I got to play Mork Borg for the first time a little while ago, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And now we will head over to Janie.
I already went.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put your links in chat.
I didn't actually already go. I'm saying that because I really bad.
Oh, I
I
see.
had a moment of like, what happened in my brain?
I also,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I have.
I could have, I like,
I feel really bad for like lying, so I didn't actually already go. I just said that. So.
Ah.
Oh boy.
Is there anything you would like us to know?
Probably. Do I remember it right now? No.
Where can we find you?
Online.
Excellent. I'll wager. I'm willing to guess that it's at JaniePot7575.
Yes,
Both on
it
Twitch and
is.
Twitter. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that on the thing that's online. Look, there's a nice link in the chat that has that information.
Go to the thing. Go to the thing. Click on
Please
the thing.
enjoy the link.
Please, definitely. Awesome. And now we will head over to Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. You can't find me anywhere because I told social media to take a hike.
Get it.
Now, I've now become one of those annoying people that's just constantly preaching the gospel of no social media. It's nice. I thought I was gonna not know what was going on in the news, and I know what's going on in the news like way better because I don't have a lot of noisy BS like in there in the mix. But anyway, not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be back for on Graham Cracker's channel for a D&D game where I play a sweet motherly little herbal druid who just wants the best for everybody. And not cynical or jaded in any way. And we set the date, so I think now I can kind of pretty much say that on Sword and Key in mid-March, like I think March 12th or something, I'm starting an every other week mini campaign of Brindlewood Bay. The premise of which is that they are at like a retreat, at like a summer camp that's rented out in the spring, where murder might happen. And the retreat has been purchased by some very savvy podcasters who've rebranded it Camp Murder. So that's what it's called. Brindlewood Bay Camp Murder until I come up with a better title.
Awesome. Brilliant. I love it. Excellent. And now finally we will head over to Lynn.
everyone, I'm Lynn. Gremlin art pretty much everywhere. You can possibly get social media stuff like you can find my art there and what I'm doing. Next time is on Saturday for Songapia's Fortune, which is our on Practical Art Bethesda channel for a high level D&D game where my Glamour Bard is in the process of putting together a wedding, and she is involved in some terrible face stuff. They're probably going to it's probably like a relative or something like that. I don't know. There's something like terrible that Practical has in store. I don't know. But I'm excited for that to see what the hell that stuff's about. So yeah.
I did it again. Excellent. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. It's the I had the brain cells working for a little while, and Nero burned them all up. My apologies. Damn him. Who am I? I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Wherever I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other audio thingies, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. At this moment, the only thing I've got going on the channel within the next week or so is this game. So we have this again next week, and what might very well be the finale. I'm very much looking forward to that. Coming up, we will be returning to our Don't Rest Your Head campaign for the second arc, for 2 new groups, made up in some ways of a lot of people you've seen before and a few people you haven't. And so that's going to be happening. You'll probably see the Friday group before you see the Monday group. And we'll start sort of figuring out what those are about. And once we do that, we'll have titles for those arcs. But for the meantime, I've defaulted back to Alpha and Omega. But very much looking forward to getting back in there and seeing how our superpowered insomniacs handle even more nightmares. It will be a delight. And that's all we've got going on for now. More stuff coming. There will be announcements. But in the meantime, when we hit the end card, let's see. We're going to send a raid over to High Shelf Collective is doing Cyberpunk. We'll go ahead and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again is when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.
Mhm.